Firstly, I'd like to start out by apologising for the quality of the video. It is dark, but I felt it was so necessary to do this video that I would tolerate that. Everybody is talking about a carbon tax. People are rallying in the streets and talking carbon tax. Carbon tax, carbon tax, carbon tax. Well, as worrying as that is, and allowing for the fact that you cannot trust politicians because they lie to you, and you know they do, and you keep voting for them. But leaving that to one side, you keep talking about a carbon tax. Well, the carbon tax is nothing more than a pea in a shell trick to distract you from the real issue. The real issue is that the carbon tax is part, a very small part, of the implementation of the Copenhagen Treaty. Now, you show me any contract that you have signed where that signature did not make it binding, and I'll show you a fraudulent contract, because the very description of a contract in commerce means that it is binding, verbal or written. Kevin Rudd went over to Denmark and went to the Copenhagen meeting and signed the Copenhagen Treaty against the will of the people, against the will of the Parliament, as Prime Minister. Then on the scene comes Julia Gillard, promising that there will be no carbon tax in a government that she leads. Now, either she lied, or she actually believed there wasn't going to be a carbon tax in a government that she leads, and she's been told otherwise by someone more powerful and more frightening than you could possibly imagine. The binding contract has 141 plus pages, and it has the capacity and the intent to wipe all animal and human life off the face of the earth. Now, you think that's dramatic? You think that's an over-dramatisation? Well, just let me read a couple of things here that I think you should understand. In the implementation of the Copenhagen Treaty, they put together a group called the Facility. And I'll just read this to you from the Copenhagen Treaty. A Copenhagen Climate Facility, hereinafter known as the Facility, is hereby established to avoid dangerous climate change and build climate resilience. The way society is structured will need to change fundamentally, from investment patterns to development programs. This cannot be accomplished by the fragmented set of existing institutions in order to enhance the implementation of the Convention in accordance with the Bali Action Plan. And it always sends shivers down my spine. Bali, these are the people who tried to blow us up at one stage. The Bali Action Plan and its 4 building blocks, a new institution, the Copenhagen Climate Facility, otherwise known as the CCF, is needed. The Facility sounds like something out of a James Bond movie. The Facility shall enjoy such legal capacity as is necessary for the exercise of its functions and the protection of its interests. Its functions, its interest, and the words as is necessary. In other words, they will allow whatever they do as being necessary. In particular, the capacity to enter into contracts, acquire and dispose of movable and immovable property, and to institute legal proceedings in defence of its interests. That means that they can march into any country that's signed, take any infrastructure, sell it off, carve it up, and bring about legal proceedings to quell and stop any opposition to their desires. 3. The facility shall have an executive committee as the supreme body of the facility to supervise and monitor the implementation. Just one moment. The implementation of operational policy. Just a moment again, I've got trouble with this computer. Guidelines and administrative arrangements, including the disbursement of resources. That means whatever they do seize, they can sell off how they like, where they like, or give it away if necessary. Disbursement means disbursement. At least